Hey there, and welcome to Dungeons After Dark, where I, your DM, Andrew Taylor, sit around and play Dungeons and Dragons with some of my favorite. What are we doing? What?
Don't worry about it. Keep going.
All right, Dungeons
Don't
and
worry about us.
favorite people around the table. Dungeons and Dragons. All right, we're going to play Dungeons and Dragons. So before we do that, we're going to do a bit of a rehash of last week's session, a retelling, if you will, a repiping of sorts, and then we'll jump right into the tonight's session. How's that sound? I don't.
Let's go.
Okay. So last week, we opened with um, you guys exiting a jail cell. You left a jail cell in Calypso, being told you'd be given a full pardon for Kazamak's murder of a goblin in an inn.
Legend.
He would be given a full pardon for the thing he absolutely 100% did.
Legend.
Let's roll the tape. The thing, for the thing he absolutely did. He was given a full pardon. So was the party for their part in it, the cover up, I guess, apparently. Uh, you guys were told you would be pardoned if you helped put out the fires and or caught and punished the people that were responsible for the fires on the ships. You rushed off to the ships with Vinsire transforming into a giant bird and taking Kit with him, diving straight down the cliff and landing on the docks. As he lands on the docks, he realizes that the ships are pretty much a lost cause because it looks like someone has dumped oil in the water in the harbor and lit the harbor on fire. In fact, at the end of all, you realize that only about 70 ships remain. As you guys were all arrived together, you look around and spot one of the open grates leading into the sewer system. You follow it into the sewer system, coming out into the same location previously that you had fought some of the pirates at. This time, getting there in time to stop a ship. As the ship goes to disembark, they pull off one of their squads, Alpha Squad, and they jump off the ship to combat you. As the ship pulls away off into the distance, you guys fought and won fairly quickly, maybe not easily, but fairly quickly against these five enemy light infantry. Well, I guess five light infantry, one wizard. But you guys won, were able to loot, found a letter with some orders on it, and made your way back to the lighthouse. At the lighthouse, you gave the report of what happened, and then that did some shopping because you were rewarded 5,000 gold at the lighthouse for the deeds that you had done for the city so far. So for returning the head from Blackmore, for your work in returning the artifacts, all of that, you were given 5,000 gold to split amongst the party. So you wanted to go do some shopping. So we ended the episode on a light note, doing some shopping, going to the magic shop, realizing that we couldn't afford most of the things that were in there. We did end up buying a few things, some light things, but nothing big. Still with cash in hand. The party left the city limits looking for a very specific tree that Vinsire is very familiar with. And that is where we pick up as you guys step through the transport via plants and arrive just inside the compound of your estate, your bastion of peace here in this world, outside the city limits of Blackmore. Now, as a reminder, Blackmore Island is fairly large. If you can see the map behind me, this slither of green inside the blue, that's Blackmore Island. Blackmore, the city of Blackmore, is the southeast side of the island. Your guys' estate sits on the very tip of the Northwest Peninsula. You guys have a private dock that leads off into the lake. You also have a fairly large estate with about 20 acres. You have a series of buildings. There are a total of 5 buildings on the compound. When you inspected the compound previously, 2 of the buildings seemed to be pretty well damaged and in need of repairs. The others, you had inspected the main house and the 2 smaller buildings. They all looked. So as you guys arrive in your bastion, a couple little bits of housekeeping here. So we are playing the new D&D. I don't know if it's going to be called sixth edition, but I believe it's just going to be called one D&D. Is the new rule book. They're going to be building this new Bastion system. So they released it for Unearthed Arcana, and long story short is we're playing it. So there are some decisions to be made. So as I understand it, you guys have chosen what you want your Bastion to look like at level 5. So for anyone watching, there are a bunch of options inside the Unearthed Arcana. There are about, I think there's like 9 options for level 5. Each of our players is going to get to pick one level 5 option to have created inside of their Bastion. These different facilities, these special facilities, give award Bastion points and different role play mechanics, and just a lot of cool gameplay mechanics. So we're going to explore this. So as we step into our Bastion, our estate is not beautiful by any means, but it could be. It's this very old, it looks like to be a couple 100-year-old like farm estate. You can see where the old like fields used to be, but they're long gone, just overgrown and just regular grass. But the markers still exist. You can see where there were horses at one point, where there was a pasture at one point. That doesn't exist anymore. The house looks from the outside like a bit of a ruin. It needs painted. It needs some upkeep. It needs, a new roof. It needs things like that to make it look more presentable. But it is a home, a thing that most of you never thought to own. They're exceedingly expensive, especially something this large. So, as we explore our Bastion, let's go first to what our barn, or not our barn, like our storage shed. So as we walk over to our storage shed, we can see that there's been some construction going on. You guys walk over that way. And as you walk over that way, you see that the construction, they have like put on a new door, they put in new windows, they've got I cannot, why do I want to call them window covers? I don't know.
Shades, drapes,
Shutters, thank you. I didn't know why I couldn't think of the word shutter, but they have new shutters on the windows. It looks very presentable. And as you kind of like walk up, there's a bunch of like workers standing there. They're like kind of like smoking like hand rolled cigarettes and kind of like laughing and joking. But you can see the work's mostly done. And they go, "Oh, are you the owners?"
Yes, we are.
"Oh, lovely. Have you come to finally inspect the work?"
Yeah, we'll see what's been going on these last couple of days. It looks better than it did. I'll say that.
I mean, it's only been like a couple of like a day, I think, but you know what? To each his own. Time is irrelevant, I guess. And then he
Well,
like turns to he like does like a sweeping motion with his hand. He goes, "Feast your eyes on this." He goes, "Me and the boys been cranking all day." And he like you walk in, and as you walk in, it is very clearly a barracks. It is been set up with a bunch of bunks. It's got like this real smooth, like fresh layer of like concrete has been poured and like magically cured, and it's like flawless, like pristine, and it's just perfect. You got 4 rows of 5 bunks, so you've got 20 bunks inside this barracks. So you can house like 20 people, hirelings in here if you wanted to. Um, it's got each of the bunks has a double like a double storage rack. So it's got like a place for people to hang their stuff. It's got a place for people to put like a travel chest. Yeah, set up, ready to go.
oh,
This is a barracks. He goes, "Is this so what do you think? Boss thought it would be nice for you to be able to house more people."
Awfully presumptuous of your boss, but I guess it's nice. It's cool.
yeah, I mean, it'll definitely do the trick. It looks like.
Yeah. What else you do?
I mean, we did some stuff in the big house. Do you want to go take a look?
Yeah,
Yeah,
see
they
some.
walk out and start walking over to the big house. As they do, they go, "Oh yeah, let's go to the back." They walk around the back, and as you guys walk around the back of the big house, there's been like very clearly a lot of magic at play here, but there is a like magical garden that is just beautiful and it's just bloomed right here behind the house. And it's
Hmm.
this kind of like very lush, like I can't remember where fern, what type of forest ferns growing. I don't remember if it's coniferous. I think it
Like
is.
the big green ones.
Yeah. But it's
Yeah.
like this very lush, like ferny, like rainforesty feel. Like because it's a swamp, right? Like you're kind of in a swamp. It's got this real like kind of like lush, like tropical feel to it. Real pretty tropical flowers, real bright pinks and yellows and oranges and blues. A lot of like butterflies and bug life around. You can hear it like buzzing around you. Vinsire, it feels, smells, it's home.
Lovely. I love it. Let's get some mushrooms growing here. We got potions to make. We got stuff to get moving.
Yeah, you'll see there's actually a really nice fallen log that's perfect for growing mushrooms.
Perfect.
A mushroom log. As you guys walk through the back door, you walk into your kitchen. The kitchen is very nice. It didn't need a lot of work. Like it was like the one thing that was pretty well done. It just needed painted, so they painted everything. It smells of paint in here, but it is very nice. Everything's been painted a fresh white, so the cabinets are all white. The marble countertops are pristine. It is a very nice kitchen. You've got everything is powered by wood, of course, because this is Dungeons and Dragons, not 2024.
I don't want a nuclear powered kitchen.
But you got what you got. But you got a kitchen, nicely furnished kitchen here, complete with a wine rack and a little storage pipe for rations. You walk out of the kitchen and you walk into a kind of like a sitting room that is also kind of like a formal meeting area, if you will. There's a big, long 12-person table set in the middle. Around it, arranged around it, are 12 chairs. The chairs sitting at either side of the table, the head and tail foot of the table are both ornately carved, while the others are carved less ornately. The cushions on the chairs are this bright red velvet. The carpet underneath the table and underneath the chairs runs the length of the table. It's this real beautiful, lush purple, like violet color. It's just very bright and like draws your attention to like the center of the room where the table sits. On top of the table is a very long black runner. The table itself is made of this real fine oak, almost looks like it was carved from like a singular piece of oak. You have this beautiful candelabra that sits on top that is currently lit, and it's dripping wax on top of the runner. As you come out of that, he gestures to a door. He goes, "It's downstairs. Be careful. You don't trip. We're not the best at stairs, but it's better than a trap door." Because you'll remember that there was a trap door here that was just like a straight drop. But here is like you can see there's been a new doorway built here. You open the door, and there's a small winding metal staircase that goes down. As you guys wind down the stairwell after this gentleman, you are looking at a couple of things. On one side of the basement down here is very much a study. There are rich, like almost like crushed velvet lined like chairs. Like they're like luxurious, like criminally luxurious. You know, like pun intended too, because you're getting all this from a mob boss, but criminally luxurious. They're beautiful, this deep, deep burgundy. The carpet is this like really lush, like soft carpet. It's the ones that got like the strands that you can like weave your toes into. Just a beautiful, yeah, just a beautiful, solid white carpet underneath this beautiful red furniture. There's 5 or 6 of these smaller, like one-person chairs with footstools. There's also a large, double wide couch that sits in front of a fireplace down here. You can see the chimney running all the way up to the roof. On either side of the fireplace are currently empty bookshelves. In the middle, next or on the wall next to the fireplace, sits a rich double wide mahogany desk with a nice chair sitting in front of it, and a quill and scrolls sitting neatly on top of it. Across from the arcane study is a library. You can see that there are already books in here. It's not a complete collection. There are a lot of gaps, but you can see that there are about 200 or so books that have been brought in. You can actually see that there are books in boxes as well that need to be put on the shelf. But there are books being put on the shelf here. It is just rows and rows and rows of books. There are like a couple of chaise lounge here to sit on, but not much for seating. That's all in the arcane study. But there is now a soon to be pretty much fully stocked library on general topics. Your library does not have any specialized stuff in it yet. To get specialized stuff, you would have to beg, borrow, steal, buy, send out hirelings, stuff like that. But you can send out hirelings, or you can have them do the research task from your library, and they can research a task for you, whether or not you have the tome in it. So if you tell them, hey, I want you to research the celestial orb, they'll do some research on celestial orb. There'll be some rolls, and then they'll give you some information, right? So we got the arcane study, we've got the library, you've seen your garden, and Kit has seen her barracks. Brom, have you decided what you're getting?
Sanctuary.
Brom is going to have a sanctuary. So we go up to the main floor again, back up the stairwell. The guy goes, there's one last room that we did some real severe work on, and it's upstairs in the chapel. As you guys walk upstairs, you walk down a hallway. As you go, he goes, and you see there are doors on either side of the hallway, like kind of in crisscrossing patterns, opposite patterns. He goes, these doors here, and he points to the 6 doors. He goes, these are all bedrooms. So they're all done up and nice. Boss had fresh linens brought over, so things should be nice in there. Your housekeeping, they live in the small house, one of them used to be ruined, so they all live there. They're currently off shift, but you'll see them later this evening. And then he continues walking down the hallway, and you finally come to a doorway in the back of the hallway. He goes, this is the chapel. He opens it, and it's this really, really beautiful chapel. There's nothing gaudy about it. It's not us. It's almost like Machiavellian in its sparsity. There are no pews. There are prayer pillows instead of pews. There are like 8 prayer pillows in per row, and there are 2 rows, so you can get 16 people in here praying at a time. There are small altars to each of the 12 prime gods at the front of the chapel. They're in silver, and that is it. There are torch sconces on the walls that give off light, but it's this very like Spartan temple. That is your bastion for the time being. He goes, so that's it. If you're satisfied, that'll be it for us today. Boss said if you have any repairs at a later date or anything you want to add, you just got to let him know. And, after a transaction is complete, some favors are exchanged, we can come back and get this over with. He goes, really appreciate the effort, to his team. And then he walks off.
Well, this place is actually a lot better than I expected. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, for a day and a half's work, it's quite impressive.
Yeah, it is. Super impressive, honestly, for that short a period of time. This is how he's gonna treat us. If all we have to do is kill a handful of people, then we're gonna be living it up.
Yeah, it's just like looking around. It's a bit empty right now. We have a lot of facilities that kind of need tending to. like reference the barracks that is just completely, it's just brand new equipment. Still has like the like plastic wrap on it. Like it's all good and all, but like I think we're gonna have to, find some people to deal with it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. Someone to clean this place while we're gone.
Well,
So,
that all costs money.
so on cue, downstairs, you hear a door open and shut. You remember he did mention that there was staff already here, that they were just not on shift. You hear a door open and shut. And you hear a little mousy, hello? Hello?
Hi.
Hey.
Are you the owners?
Yeah.
We are.
Can I come up?
Yeah, come on up.
She comes up the stairs, and what you see is a plump little halfling. She is about 2 foot 2 inches tall. She is quite chubby. She's a little bit round.
Rotund.
She's not rotund. She's not rotund. She's not obese. She's just got a little bit of roundness to her. She has plumpness in her cheeks, like a fullness to her cheeks. Her cheeks have this nice little rosiness to the tips of it. She has this kind of like very sweet, like soft facial features. Her nose comes to a gentle little soft curve at the bottom, and her eyes are this soft blue in the left, and in the right, a dark green.
Huh.
She goes into a light bow, and she goes, I'm your headmistress, Doreen.
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 Doreen. I'll give her a little curtsy and retort and be like, hello, I'm Kit.
She goes,
Oh,
it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm responsible for the upkeep of the property, hiring the staff to do the general maintenance of your facilities and to work. I'll oversee most of the facilities and the duties that you have here. And if you have any questions about how things work or what your people are capable of, you just need to ask me and I can help you.
That's very well timed. We were literally just talking about that. You take care of everything, like even the barracks?
Well, I'll make sure people get fed. I'll make sure if you have a quota to hit, let's say, I'll make sure if there's a research task that the librarians don't slack off. If the barracks have soldiers in them, that they're being cleaned, things of that nature. I'll also give orders to the rest of the staff. So if you need something related to the barracks, you don't need to go there. You can just tell me.
I think mainly just right now, getting people to fill it would be a good start.
Well, I've already sent out ravens and messenger pigeons to the nearby settlements, to the local smaller settlements to see if there are any men and women coming of age who might want to join. I've also sent out messengers to the major cities, Steelhaven, High Watch, to see if there are any dwarves or bird folk who might also be looking for adventure. So that is taken care of. I've also sent away to High Watch for librarians. We should have those by tomorrow morning.
How much? That's all amazing. How much do we pay you?
I'm paid up front annually. Mr. Vittorio said that to tell you that it was been handled. And he paid me with a nice tip, I might add.
That's good. I only ask because that's quite a bit of work. I'll lean into Vin and I'll be like, I don't know if we can keep up with her. We might have to hire someone a little bit more affordable next year.
Guess we'll see. Maybe he'll cover next year. Maybe,
plot
Yeah.
twist, it's 50,000 gold a year.
Yeah, this woman's at easily 250K a year just for the amount of concierge work she's doing.
Can I make an insight check to see if I can kind of get a guess for this woman's salary?
You can I will say you could insight by looking at her clothing,
Okay.
like her cleanliness, like her hygiene and her clothing standards.
She's a CEO of a Fortune 500 company that we're paying for.
I rolled at 18.
Yeah. An 18. She doesn't look wealthy, but she looks well to do. She looks well kept. Her hair is well made. It's well kept. It's in nice tight little curls, falls over her shoulders in like this like kind of like blonde, like right to shoulder length blonde curls. Her nails are finely trimmed. Teeth look good. Like she looks like she takes well care of herself. I guess you wouldn't know. So, because you,
Huh?
you wouldn't know. Your
What
child.
being well kept looks like.
I mean, he knows what well kept looks like, but
I
he
don't
would
know, kid. She looks pretty fucking clean. You know,
I
I
had
don't know what
something
to say.
else that I would be able to say to literally anyone else, but I can't say it to Vinsire.
Gotta be at least like, I don't know, 10 gold.
I have a feeling it's probably more than that a year. But yeah, we'll get there one day.
Excuse me. What was it that you got paid up front for the year?
3,500 gold.
Oh, it would have been much easier. Lean down to Kit. That would have been much easier. I should have asked.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to know so we can keep track on what to expect come next year.
Of course. An annual
There-
raise is also expected year over year.
4%. All right.
Is there a rate at which we have to increase said pay?
We'll
Can
see
we
how your
hire you
performance
on a
is.
flat rate, a fixed rate for the next 30 years?
And the rest of your names were what again? I'm sorry.
Sorry, yeah, my name is I'm Kazamak, and I'll like extend my hand like down very low.
Yeah, you'd have to like bend down, like at the like almost like completely horizontal to the ground to like shake this person's hand.
I will, yeah. I was kind of like squat essentially. Just
Pleasure to meet you.
Well, hello there, Dorian. My name is Henry Bibbleston at your service. Very lovely to meet you. I would like to say up front, all raises are purely merit-based, so if you do good work, there might be something in it for you. Also, discretion is key amongst us. I just want to make sure that we have an understanding.
I don't have any secrets.
I was employed by Mr.
Okay.
Vittorio, who is the head of the Silver Serpent Gang. I've known this for many years, as does anyone else, and we don't seem to have a problem with it. And she
Good loose tongue.
Well, I mean,
It's like well taught. It's like you guys know from being here a couple of times now that like it's not a secret, like by any means. Like it's like everyone in the
Fun to pretend, though, isn't it?
It is.
well, can I do an insight check to see, without asking, like, would
Yes.
anything we get up to would go to Vittorio?
Yeah, go ahead.
I should have warmed that dice up. All right, what do we
Next
got?
line, Kazamak. So are you gonna tell?
I'm blunt, straight
That's
to
a
the point.
12.
12?
Yep.
When she says that she was paid by Vittorio, there is a kind of like a micro expression of guilt from having taken money from Vittorio.
I don't know if we can have that around, guy.
Yeah, and you said the librarians would be here tomorrow at some point.
Yes, sorry. Yes, they'll be here tomorrow at some point. I don't know exactly when, but they will be here.
Perfect. I definitely would like to speak with them as soon as they arrive.
No,
Where
great.
did you say you were attempting to source them from?
High Watch and Steelhaven.
Excellent.
good, very good. We'll definitely have to work very closely with them. There's respected members of academia and, well, maybe not academia. Ignore me, I'm old.
Henry,
He's got dementia.
When
have
will we
you
be taking
ever
lunch?
have you ever been in academia, Henry?
I've been around academia.
Like you read a book, or
I've read a handful, yeah.
oh, okay, I just only ask because very different than the trades that you say you used to do.
But yeah, I
Yes,
was a trader.
traveling salesman. I remember.
Yep. A lot of free time on the road. Crack open a book. What else are you gonna do?
Well, fair enough. Well, what time is it right now? It's like morning.
No, it is like 4 in the afternoon.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. Well, I guess it's getting not really late, but do we want to
Oh,
try and think about how we want to do this next task before we settle in?
I was thinking we could at least, we do have some staff, right, Doreen? Like kitchen staff?
We do. We have the minimum staff required to run the household. We have 2 wait staff, a cook,
I
and
mean,
maids.
we don't need to jump just right in. I mean, we could celebrate being homeowners and building this new establishment we have, but we could take a minor break before jumping straight back into business.
You'll remember that you have 2 weeks before you have to be at Calypso for their council meeting. The meeting of the Triarchs will be given. They monthly hold court monthly. You guys have been requested to represent Calypso because the leadership is busy putting back together the remnants of the Navy. They have to outsource their plea for help. So you guys have 2 weeks. It will take you about a week to travel there from Blackmore because the mountain range is going to take you about 4 days to get through. And it's treacherous. But you guys have about a week of downtime if you so choose.
Yeah, so I mean, we just got done after a really kind of just a long week. So I mean, we could just take some time to each kind of explore what we find interesting here. And then tonight, I like look toward Doreen. I think like a feast or a celebration's in order. I mean, this is exciting, I think, for a lot of us. This is at least for me, this is new, and I can't speak to the rest of you, but
Yeah, no, I agree. How does our ale supply look?
We have 3 barrels of fresh ale. We have a mini cask of wine, and we have 1 barrel of whiskey.
Barrel.
Excellent. Well, then I agree with Kit here. I think a celebration is in order.
She claps her hands together, and she goes, "All right, a feast it is. We'll slaughter a pig." And she takes off on her back foot to turn and leave.
and
She goes,
I'm gonna yell to.
she
I was
goes,
gonna.
she goes, "One more thing." One more thing. She turns back around. When people come, they'll be asking for the Boys and Girls Club of Zata. Just don't turn them away. And she stomps off down the stairs.
Before she gets out of earshot, I'm going to yell, "Make sure all of the staff is there too. This is just as much their party."
Yes, sir.
What a good boss.
You all get 1 Dixie cup of liquor. Come celebrate.
And 1 slice of pizza, no more.
You get
You built this company.
1 lamb mutton chop to share amongst you all.
You guys all get 7 days of downtime. We didn't do a lot of this in our previous campaigns, but I wanted to make it with the Bastion system and the faction system that I built to implement into this. I kind of wanted more downtime. So pretty regularly, I'm going to give you guys like a week, maybe 2 weeks, sometimes even like a month between major activities. Now, that means that it gives us other options for storytelling between bastion rolls and things like that. We get a lot of opportunities to tell different kinds of stories. So, since we know we're going into 7 days of downtime, I'm going to ask you guys to give me your bastion actions now, so it makes sense that in 7 days they can resolve themselves. So for the arcane study, you have the ability to craft. For the barracks, you can recruit. The garden, you can harvest. The library, you can research. The sanctuary, you can craft. You should look at the description to tell you exactly what it can do, because it's not like craft anything. Okay, so make sure you have your description open. So who thinks they're the most ready to tell me how they spend their 7 days and what their bastion action is? Henry, you may go first.
I am going to spend my 7 days crafting a new arcane focus.
Okay.
A wand. I'm gonna be making a wand.
Okay. So that's what your bastion is doing.
Mm-hmm.
What are you, Henry, doing over 7 days?
All right, so there's like a stone wall leading into.
There is. It's like a 6-foot tall stone wall.
Beautiful, and I'm assuming some sort of arch.
Correct.
That goes over the pathway. I'm going to spend 7 days crafting a sign that says "Boys and Girls Club of Zata." And it's gonna be just right there. I'm gonna spend some time, hunched over, painting it, and then probably get some help to throw it up there. And
hell yeah,
nice little entryway.
You can do that in a day. I mean, if you want to spend 7 days making the greatest sign that anyone's ever seen, hell yeah. But you can make a good sign in a day if you want. And I can come back to you if you're not quite ready.
Come back to me, but it's going to be a good sign. I'm talking like Xavier's School of.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Boys and Girls Club of Zata.
Who would like to go next with their bastion action and their 7 days? I see Finger. Go ahead, Kit.
I can go next. So obviously recruit. It says roll 1d4 for BP. Is BP like barracks personnel?
BP is bastion points. So if it tells you to roll a dice, you need to roll a dice. Your bastion points in the bastion system, bastion points allow you to do certain things. So each higher level facilities give you more bastion points per roll. But when you get to a certain number of bastion points, let me find it here. I'll give you an example. Let's see here. Oh, it's the very top because I'm a goofy person.
You're beautiful.
Sorry, guys. First time jitters. Okay, spending bastion points. There's a bunch of ways that you can spend bastion points. The main one is acquiring magic items. Each time a character gains a level, they can spend their bastion points to acquire a single magic item. Any magic item acquired in this fashion must be approved by the DM. The bastion point cost of each magic item is based on the item's rarity, as shown in the spending bastion points table. If a rarity has a level prerequisite, the character must be at that level or higher to get the item. Makes sense?
So, specifically for my recruit order, it works in the sense of recruiting individuals, because I'm reading it. I rolled a 2 on the D4, so I have recruited 2 personnel.
All right.
For
get 2 bastion points as well.
Cool. I'll write that down as well. I guess I would just, the first day they show up, I'll just be standing in the training grounds, just like hands at behind my back, waiting for them to show up.
Okay. Other uses of bastion points at level. On gaining level, you can spend 10 points to ensure word of their heroic deeds spreads throughout the region around their bastion. For the next 7 days, character has advantage on all charisma checks within 50 miles of their bastion. When a character dies, the character can spend 100 bastion points to return to life in their bastion at the next dawn.
Damn, respawn point.
After spending bastion points in this way, a character can't do so again until it gains at least 1 level.
That's pretty cool. Waiting for the new Joes to show up. I'll just be like literally standing there like meditating in the training grounds. As I wait for the first 2 dudes to show up. I can't do anything until I get 12 total people in my barracks, but the first dudes show up, I'm just like sitting there just like
On day 2, a large group of people arrives. There's about 10 to 12 people in this group. 2 of them are your soldiers, Kit. They kind of wander up to the barracks and they see you kind of outside of it and they go, the one's a male, looks like just a pure human. The other's a female half-elf. The male goes, you the commander.
I guess. And no one told me I had a title. They just said I was in charge of this like portion of the bastion.
Oh,
Just
you're in charge.
call me Kit. We don't really do that where I'm from. Just call me Kit. Are you guys the new soldiers?
I'm Trevor. This is Michelle.
And I'll walk up to both of them and just like double shake at the same time since there's only 2 of them.
Yeah.
Well, Trevor, Michelle, I'm assuming I'm at like hip level. I'm Kit. And then I'll like gesture to the brand new, freshly made barracks. Here's where we stay. This is the training grounds. You guys have much experience in this?
A little bit. I did a little bit of, security for a bar back home in Letty's Hold. It gets a little rowdy on the 5th day.
Yeah, I've been to the bar in Letty's Hold. Bouncer work is respectable. Little different here. And then I'll proceed to just take them through the most rambled and jumbled together training regimen ever. Like it has 0 backing. It's literally just her being like, and now this. And then she's just gonna go through this like weird Rocky montage of training them and then essentially getting to the point where they throw up and then they just pass out for the day. And then she'll be like, all right, cool. See you guys tomorrow morning at dawn. And then she'll just like go off and do some pull-ups.
All right. Hell yeah.
And then that's the bastion. And then for her in her free time, when her recruits are dog shit tired, she would like to be pestering Vin for as many red anamina mushrooms as humanly possible.
That's what we're getting after.
Like just fiending, yeah, literally just fiending in the fucking garden. Like, yo, bro, let me get an extra red anamina mushroom. And she will attempt to make as many healing potions as possible.
Okay. Well, we'll have to see how many mushrooms Vin gets.
I figured that's got some additional things.
I have some for my personal stash too. If you only need 1, I'll just keep giving you 1.
I'll take 1 a day because
Okay.
I'm training my recruits,
I
but
have 7. So
I will attempt to make 1 potion a day.
Okay. Do you have 7 mushrooms to give him, Vin?
yeah, like just on my person currently without the bastion stuff.
Perfect. So you can just give him 7 mushrooms. Kit, go ahead and make 7 checks.
What's the fucking check for this again?
It's
The nature check or what is it?
something plus proficiency. Or
A
is it?
D12 for a normal potion.
Is
Plus
it
my
a nature plus proficiency or an intelligence plus proficiency or what is it?
Intelligence. It's intelligence plus proficiency.
First one is where the fuck? 17.
That's a potion.
Natural 1. Or 8. 10. 12. And this is second, the last 2. 17. So second potion. And does a 13 do it?
Yep.
Okay, so that's 3 potions. Cool. I'll come back with 3 bottles of dust and hand them to Vin.
Mhm.
There's about a 50% success rate, but we're getting better.
Great. I'll recycle these for her, I guess.
Running off. Use them as fertilizer. And the bears.
That's how Kit spends her time. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
Okay, Kazuma.
So I would say I'm definitely, as soon as the new librarians get in, I'm basically trying to find everything I can out about this alleged celestial orb, asking if they've ever heard it, having them help me.
Sure. On day 2, when the large group arrives, they also arrive. There are 2 librarians, both from Highwatch. Highwatch has a famed library that anyone can go into, but they have sections of it that are completely private to different castes of the Society of Highwatch. So some of it is only for like the bird folk of Highwatch.
Okay. Interesting.
So they arrive, and you find them kind of unloading additional books in the library.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I
Can I help you?
I assume you're my new librarians.
Yes, we are.
Well, I've been kind of excited to meet you, mainly because I've been trying to track down any information about this object, and I was really hoping you might be able to help me in searching through all these books for the next little bit, find any information.
This person talking is an elf. He goes, I am called Nicholas. Nicholas Var Greatwood. And yes, we will be able to do that research for you as soon as we get these books unloaded. He goes,
Oh, I'll lend a hand, anything to get some help quicker. No.
Jube, unload those books. And Jube is this, you look over, there's this very, very scrawny owlin. He is this like super scrawny owlin. He's like 7 feet tall. He looks like Big Bird, essentially, just a big white Big Bird. But he's got this real poofy, feathery head, and then this real narrow shoulders, real narrow torso, just like no hips. He's just a stick.
Slenderman.
Yeah, basically Slenderman in bird form. If that's not a fucking paralysis demon, I don't know what is.
Yeah, literally.
But he goes, Jube. And Jube comes over and starts unloading the books on the top shelf.
Excellent. Yeah, my name's Kazimak. I'll be kind of here overseeing the library.
Fantastic. So you will be the head librarian. I will be your deputy. And Jube will be, well, he'll be Jube. Jube.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Jube.
Jube doesn't have the faculty necessary to talk. You see, when he was a young man, he was a victim of a brutal assault. It left him quite damaged, but he has a knack for memorization.
Oh, well, that will definitely come in handy.
Yes. He's what they call a savant.
Oh. Interesting.
Jube.
Well, I was gonna like nod at him again. Hello. Well, perfect. I guess once we get these books unloaded, we can get to work. I'm looking for any information regarding something known as the celestial orb or history around it.
Okay.
And that's what I will spend the week doing. Just basically taking whatever the D&D equivalent of Adderall is and grinding away at these books.
That's the Bastion. What is Kazamak doing?
I would say Kazmak is genuinely doing the same thing. He's trying to find everything he can out about this alleged that super valuable item.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll have you roll an Arcana check. And what that will do, the strength of your Arcana check will determine if I add additional information to what your researchers would get at the end of a 7-day period.
All right, let's see what we got here. Don't do me bad. First one's a 22. Almost not 20. 22.
Okay. The 22. Okay. So at the end of the 7 days, the researchers and you are sitting around a fire. Henry is in his arcane study. You guys are sitting around the fire with your feet up on the stools, and you're going through books. In the back, on the opposite side of the room, in the library, you hear Jube start yelling, Jube. Jube! Jube! Jube!
That's a cool. What is it? What did you find?
Jube!
And I'm like nod for the other guy to like help me.
He flips a book around and he points at a page in a book. You take the book, and it is a telling of it is a mythical telling. Think of it as like Iliad and the Odyssey is what this book is. The book itself is called Tales of the Old Land of After Air. Okay. The book itself looks to be about 150 years old. So it was written during the time of the emperor. It says on the page, it says the following. During the great wars of Cetera, a calamity arose. None know for sure, but all agree that a multi-headed dragon attacked parts of the country of Cetera. It wasn't until a group of adventurers band together and bound the dragon in an orb of immense divine power that the calamity was told to stop. The reason that orb is spoken about, it goes on to say in the pages later on, that this is a part of a telling of a history, not of a celestial orb or of Cetera, but it is a mythological telling of Dwaro Deep, the lost city of ancient dwarves. It goes on to say that this orb was taken to the last known king of Dwaro Deep for his power alone to keep it safe.
Okay. Interesting. That is actually quite fascinating. How much validity do you think this has to it? It seems to be some more almost like a fairy tale more so than true historical writings.
Jube. He just keeps hitting the word divine power. Divine power. Jube. And then Nicholas comes over and he goes, you see, I think it means that the orb itself is of a celestial nature. I think Jube is pointing out that divine, celestial orb, divine orb.
And it's so there's some sort of incredibly powerful dragon that's trapped in this orb, which is how it's drawing its power.
Nicholas puts his hands up. He goes, I have no clue. Jude found the one passage, it seems.
No, it's definitely more helpful. it's definitely more helpful than anything I've come across so far. So I guess gotta just maybe keep diving into some history about this Dwaro's Deep and the king, and I guess any string we can pull on, try and track this thing down, or maybe more information about it.
Jube flips the page and points to another page in the book. Go ahead, Henry.
I'm hearing all this, right? If I'm in my
You
arcade
are
study.
correct.
Yeah.
Jube flips the page and points to another page in the book. This one is a passage about the pilgrim. Here it states, the pilgrim was known to have traveled the world for many centuries.
Do I recognize that name? I feel like we've had mention of someone called the Pilgrim before.
You guys saw Lord the Pilgrim in a one-shot.
That's okay. Got
It's
it.
also just it's like a folk tale throughout all of
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
It's a very, very well-known folktale. He is like the most famous folk. It's like, name a folktale. Like the first one that comes to your mind would
Honey Appleseed.
Yeah.
the first one that comes to your mind would be this one. So like whatever you would come up with, it would be this. He is sometimes a cautionary tale. He is sometimes a tale of like divine wisdom and the wisdom of travel and things of that nature, of like gathering knowledge. All the tales, essentially, the pilgrim is like fucking with people throughout time, like in different ways, or like fucking with history throughout time.
Nice.
He'll just show up and like Volovine. It talks about Volovine and Ur. Nicholas points to the passage, and it points out the pilgrim's time in Volovine and Ur. He was said to have traveled to Cetera around the time that the Great War was happening. So if the pilgrim, Jude points to that passage where it says the pilgrim traveled to Cetera around the same time and starts going, Jube! Jube!
So it sounds like he's saying that maybe we should do more research about the Pilgrim, and I'll look at him.
Jube!
Hmm.
Closes the book.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, if he was there around the same time, then... But I've only ever heard about this person or creature or whatever in children's tales or old folklore. I don't even know where to begin as far as if he exists currently.
Well, I have it on good authority that at least some of the pilgrim stories are true. All good stories, most folklore, are based in some form of fact, and the pilgrim is no different. In fact, in the reserved for the Triarchs section of the library of High Watch, there is a scroll of the pilgrim himself, said to detail his very journeys to this continent.
And this, what was it? Where was it again?
The High Watch library in the reserved section that's for the Triarchs only.
Well, I mean, I don't think there's any way I can necessarily get my hands on that unless you are familiar with someone being from there.
So,
Jube.
I mean, they don't have everything.
No,
They-
yeah, I know, yeah. So,
Maybe if you can talk the bird person pants off when we get to High Watch, you get access into the super forbidden secret library.
exactly.
It's in the restricted section.
Once I make my move.
All right, that's Kazimak. Who would like to go next? Bastion, and then your personal.
I'll go next. Here you, Mikey.
Ben's been itching.
Yeah, Mikey.
So within my bastion, I'm going to set up in the corner a little gemstone, nothing too fancy, but to make trinkets and ornaments for my sacred focus. That's what's going to be
Okay.
for my holy symbols, and each one's going to be a symbol of the prime deities. So I'm going to over the series. So I can.
Sorry, this is gonna. I just gotta cut you off for a second. On day 2, the next day after this one.
Oh yeah, the guy.
On day 2, your priest arrives.
No, my priest.
Your priest is a male Triton from Calypso.
Was he listening to my preachings?
Hello, I'm Xavier. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hello, Xavier. Welcome to my humble abode. This is the sanctuary. Main things is do what you see fit, or let me ask these questions. Do you believe in the prime deities, the prime pantheon?
He like puts his hands over one another, folds them gently in front of himself, like over his chest. He goes, yes. I've been trained in all 12 of the prime pantheon gods, and I find them each to have their merits.
Excellent, excellent.
Yes.
It's hard. These folks in here are some hard non-believers, so it's going to take some time to convert.
Well, acts not deeds. Acts not deeds.
Yes, yes.
Love me some devout smugness, just like off of each other.
Just
Oh yes, we're so righteous together. We are better than everybody.
But let me show you around the sanctuary. Over here, I've set up a area where to create trinkets, but each in the way of how we see.
The funny sentence.
What the fuck? What?
It's not very holy.
Keep going.
But it's gonna be, so the best way to describe it is that it's gonna be not like super rare gems, but just like common gems that you just shape that you can like, it's a like a pennant kind of thing.
Mhm.
But it's gonna have a hole in it. It's gonna be like a necklace where you can wear it as a necklace, or you can have like it as a belt decor hanging off the belt. Each one's gonna be the prime pantheon deities that you see fit. So it's like Pokemon gym badge. Just gotta collect them all. So the goal is to make each one in the prime pantheon is each one. But I mean, they don't really do anything because that's my sacred symbol. They don't really do anything, but it's just gives a priest more holiness to it. So that's what's going to be crafted in mind. So it's not too intricate, but it's not too blah.
Okay.
But each prime pantheon is going to have like its own separate color, so it might be harder to gather the colors for each prime pantheon deity. So that's what I'm going for.
Cool.
Now,
what are you doing for 7 days?
Oh, I'm going to be helping make one.
So
7 days, but also
you don't have to.
I don't have to help them.
You don't have to do anything. So just for you guys' edification, you don't have to do anything for your bastion. You don't have to help them. You don't have to do shit. It just happens. You don't have to pay them. It's all taken. It just happens. It's a mechanic. Okay.
Is Xavier underage?
Xavier's not underage.
Damn it! No child labor laws.
that is not where I thought that was going.
I know you're a priest, Brom, but come on.
You don't have to lean that heavy, man.
You see my smoke screen.
I swear to God, if you're not monetizing the fucking keychains you just made with all your 12 Pantheon gods.
So
don't do anything.
what are you, Brom, doing for 7 days?
I'm gonna be praying, but also I'm guessing we can shut the doors too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna shut the doors and I'm gonna try to fucking practice this staff of scrying I got from the market earlier.
So
The
the
staff
what?
of scrying?
Staff of scrying?
Yeah, that's the thing I bought.
Mirror. It was a mirror. I'm pretty sure.
Was it well, you said it was
It
a
was
staff.
like it was a handheld mirror. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know why I said staff.
I don't know
My
either.
bad.
Yeah.
I wrote
Chrome staff.
I don't know.
Staff.
I was like, why would it be a staff? Doesn't make sense.
No,
All right,
it does. Yeah.
Yo,
I have staff for some weird reason.
Nice.
No, this is so this isn't the hand mirror. Remember,
Wall mirror.
this is the big ass like wall
Oh,
mirror.
I thought you said.
No, that's what I said, and you were like, no, it's the small one. Because I tried to ask him, and you were like, no, it's not. But if it is the big one, even better.
No. I'm not talking about the magic item store. I'm talking about the place that sells art, which is where he bought this from.
Yeah, the Ebony and Ivory trading company.
Well, if it's the big one, sure, brother.
Did I get
This
the big
one's
one?
like a wardrobe mirror.
You get this. You got the mirror of scrying.
Yeah,
It's the big mirror.
it's the big mirror.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, man. Nobody
Oh,
knows.
so then we all know you have it.
No, you don't. You didn't ask about it, bitch.
You guys 100% see a big ass mirror get fucking brought into the house. Yes.
Okay. Oh, look, it's the
I'm
mirror
like,
of scrying we saw in Ebony and Ivory.
Hey, isn't that the mirror scrying right there?
When did he get that? That's crazy. Had that the whole
I'm gonna
time.
have to check that thing out once he's
It's got
done
a-
with it.
It's got a big ass it's got like a big ass stamp on it that says Ebony and Ivy Trading Company, fragile, do not break.
Nope, nothing to see here.
Rom.
This shit.
Item number mirror
It's got a
scrying.
skew for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you got your mirror. It's hung up in your sanctuary.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm going to try and look for.
Damn, just you and the underage priest behind closed doors.
Hey, whoa! He's not underage. He's over the age of 21. Get out of here.
Anything can happen. Just you and a priest, closed doors.
He looks young though, right? Like he looks like he could be.
Getting pretty lolly on us here
There's the
right now.
possibility.
Since he was my mentor when I was back in
Okay.
Victoria.
You try to scry for the first night, your former mentor. You cannot find the mirror. Does not find him.
Okay. Can I scribe back? Oh, well, I don't want to do that. I'll try that. Shit, because it's got to be a person that you know relatively well, correct? For the
Or
scribe.
location.
The DC
Or-
changes depending on how well you know them, or if you have something of theirs, like a body part or something, or hair. It's true. That's how the spell reads.
Okay, and then over the time, I'm gonna try my cousin. You
Okay.
know, more. I'm gonna try him and see what I get.
Okay, you try your cousin. Same thing.
Damn.
Cool.
Powerful people you're trying to watch.
I'm gonna kind of like go like, what? Is this not working? And I'm gonna walk over to Xavier. Xavier, I need you for a second.
Yes,
You see the mirror?
I see it. Yes.
Do you understand this is the scrying mirror, correct?
Yes, as it was explained when they installed it.
Okay.
Here with this book of instructions.
I'm gonna ask him like, try scrying for something. I just want to make sure that I'm getting good signal. It's in a good spot.
He
If I can move it.
he scries. He walks to the mirror, puts his hand on the edge of the mirror, and scries through the mirror. He goes, and you see it coalesce in the mirror. Like you can view, everyone can see the mirror. It's you. He's scrying on you.
Okay.
Does that weird thing happen?
Yeah.
You scry on something that's in view.
Yeah.
It's like looking through a series of mirrors. Yeah.
I'm gonna look at him like, okay. Xavier, I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
And then he's gonna go off and do his thing. So I'm like, it does work, so I'm probably running into issue.
Can you push your pause away?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just the porn website you're going to is blocked by your local government.
Gotta sign the waiver.
Maybe get a VPN.
Are you 18?
Firewall. You
Load your ID.
it up. Yeah.
It's actually
For the firewall.
Okay.
it's a pay blocker.
Even in 7 days.
I'm gonna do that, and then also I'm just going to pray, and then I'm also going to sleep in the sanctuary so I can get the healing benefit.
Okay.
And then
I'm gonna go back to Henry, and I'm gonna finish completely with Vinsire, and let Kyle finish completely all at once. So, Henry, would you like to finish with your personal 7 days?
Personal set. Well, first of all, instead of crafting the wand myself, perhaps a hireling can do it, so I could be more free.
Right.
Yeah.
Dope. Henry is going to spend a good deal of time utilizing Kazamak's library. He is going to be looking for anything he can on time dragons. Understanding they're all doing their own thing. He's just gonna be off in the corner, kind of doing that.
Okay. All right. So what we'll do is I'll say you can make 2 Arcana checks, both of them at advantage.
Oh.
Your DC for time dragon stuff. So basic time dragon stuff, you'll get at 16. Some hyper shit you can get at DC 20, and that 20 gets you some good stuff.
Okay, here we go.
Let's go. Come on.
Some hypersonic time dragon shit, not hyper dragon shit.
First roll is a natural 19 for a total of 26.
Okay.
Come on, natural 20.
I'm sorry, 27.
Okay.
You get hyper dragon shit at a minimum.
No, 18 on the second one.
Okay. So the first one, you won't get everything because you got both DCs, but
Can
you're
I,
not.
I have inspiration. Can I blow it?
Yeah, if you want.
Did it work?
It worked.
Hypersonic time dragon shit, baby.
It worked.
Okay.
Ah! Now, if we were at the table, we'd be way more
What
excited.
did you roll? Did you roll nat
Yeah.
20?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
20.
Yeah, funny, I just laid it down.
Like, that dice, like you more than anyone else off of inspiration, you turn inspiration
crazy.
into inspiration like crazy.
I bought these at the Ren Fair. I'm pretty sure blessed or cursed, one of them. I don't know. Might turn on me one day, but
Just loaded.
Yeah, I was like, plot twist, they're the loaded dice.
Only
Yeah,
like
dude.
20 breaks them out on crazy rolls.
I thought loaded dice stall was a weird name, but now it's all making sense.
Hold
Oh
on.
no, father. Hang on.
It's an imagination game.
It was being weird. I didn't like it. Okay.
You're mine for the rest of the episode.
All right. So first, let's do the 27. So the 27 and then the 20. We'll start with the 27. So on the 27, you get a couple of things. On the first couple of days of research, you identify a book with the help of Jube that is all about the dragon bestiary. It's literally called Dragons of the World of After Air. You find it's a microcosm of dragons just found on After Air. There is a small chapter, roughly 6 pages, on time dragons. There is never been a known sighting of a time dragon in the last 1,000 years. It has been over 1,000 years since the calamity on Cetera, since a time dragon was spotted. However, that time dragon was a wormling. And since time dragons have lifespans of millennia, it is unlikely that it would be dead unless it was slain. So, the passage talks about how time dragons can manipulate magic, or time using magic, how they can travel back and forth through time. When they are ancient dragons, they can hop great distances of time and even take others with them.
Damn.
Shit.
Correct. A dragon,
Is
it says that time dragons can only jump to periods of time that they know of.
Okay.
So they have to either read about it in the past, know of it from the past, or when they're in the past, be able to jump to a period of time that's in the future, like their present. You're not there.
yeah, I am.
You're not researching dragons.
He wasn't researching my stuff when he got to hear it.
He's reading the book. You were having a conversation.
Hmm.
Damn, get
Well,
fucked.
one-sided conversation is still a conversation.
Yeah, but Henry reads out loud. We all know this. He's a fucking weirdo who talks to
Henry
himself.
reads to Philip.
I'm dragon.
Henry for sure talks to himself. We know this.
100%. Yes, he does.
Oh,
So
there
everyone
it is.
within a mile heard exactly what went down.
He would be sharing it all to Philip. So, yes, Kazmak
Got it.
probably.
I just figured since we were all like researching in the same relatively small room, and the Birdman was jumping back and forth.
Yeah.
Henry's also
So you hear it. Go ahead.
all right. Henry's also smoking his pipe, and it's getting obnoxiously smoky in the basement. Just,
Thank
Philip is
Yeah,
like,
go ahead, Kazumak. You heard him.
Okay, no, I just wanted to see if I heard him or not, so it's something I could talk about later.
And then the nat 20, Henry. On the second half of the week, Jube brings you a very worn leather tome. It is a journal. As you open it, it is a journal of an extraplanar traveler. His name is Jonathan Hammerstein. He himself is irrelevant, except for the fact that he traveled to different planes of existence regularly as part of his adventuring party. In this journal, that is dated many, 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 many years ago, on a planet whose name you couldn't even pronounce if you tried, he recounts a tale of a time when witnessed the hatching of a time dragon egg. He describes a ritual where the egg was placed in the middle of a cylindrical temple with 20 powerful time mages strung in a circle around the egg, all simultaneously casting magic at the highest level they possibly could. With that amount of time magic in one concentrated burst, the hatchling burst through the stone shell of the egg into life. Then, the moment one of the guards tried to touch it, that guard turned to 97 years old and fell over dead.
Interesting. Good thing to know. Henry, ages 10 years, dead.
Becomes infant.
The journal goes on to hypothesize that he suspects that time dragons have a defensive aura at a young age to protect themselves. That it's resonance from the powerful magic that's used to hatch them.
I ain't never hatching this thing.
20 mages. God.
Well, you're hearing 20 mages, which you should have heard, which I wanted you to hear, was powerful time magic.
Yeah.
20 mages at 9th level spells.
Yeah.
The thing is, they all can only cast 4-level spells, 4th level. So that's why he didn't say highest magic. Or, who knows?
Hey, you don't know. They could all be level 1 wizards. You don't know.
Yeah, you never know.
Maybe if we upcharge a cantrip time rift to 9th level, like Henry was thinking, we crack the code.
Right. So, Philip, it looks like there's a chance. Slim, but there's a chance.
There's a chance, all right. A chance we're gonna get fucking killed. You barely feed me. You're gonna feed a dragon?
It eats time.
Philip, you don't need food. Any food you eat is purely for pleasure.
Yeah, but it fucking feels so good.
Horny rat.
You ever just ate a whole brick of cheese?
Philip, this whole time I've been sitting here smoking this pipe. You know what? I'm gonna get you a gift. I'm gonna do something for you, Philip. Hang I'm going to try and craft a small pipe for Philip.
Hell yeah. I'm not even gonna make you roll because Rule of Cool says Philip gets a fucking little pipe.
Little mini corn pipe.
So you craft over a week, and it takes you several attempts. You have to enlist the help of guys like Vin Sire and Brahm, who are a little bit, and Kazamak, who are a little bit more crafty. But through help and some guidance, you're able to craft a tiny little pipe for Philip. And at the end of the week, in your study, you sit in your lush green robe in front of the fireplace. Philip sits in another chair by herself, brick of cheese.
And there would be a tiny little armchair
in her lap with a tiny pipe lit in her mouth. This demon weed was a good idea.
That's actually what the garden is just a fucking weed farm.
We got enemy and mushroom. We're gonna get there. We'll get there.
We got magic mushrooms. We got weed.
What do you need, brother?
Cheese is so good, man. You want some of this cheese?
There's a book. Philip has a book sitting in front of her. Philip can't read, first of all. Philip has a book sitting in front of her, and it's upside down.
Nice.
I think I got something over here, boss.
Yeah. Wait, what? What do you got over there, Philip?
A book.
Nice.
I can't read.
Yeah, you just keep trying. You get there.
Yeah, okay.
All right, Henry, anything else you want to do over 7 days?
Oh, do I get a arcane study little guy? Just a little guy.
Oh, you do get an arcane study on hire. So sorry, on day 2, one of the other people that shows up is another hireling. Let me come up with a name for him real quick. His name is going to be Robert
Duvall.
Robert Duvall.
Nice. Cannon.
The ball.
Actually, let's call him Bob Duvall. That way it's not a direct rip.
Bobby Duval.
Bob Duvall. He is an arcanist. He is trained in the magic arts, but he's also very skilled at tinkering. So he is pretty damn good. He also has basic research capabilities. Nothing that you can't give him the research task, but he can help you give the help action to give you advantage when you're doing checks in your study.
Okay. Cool. Nice to meet you, Bob. You want some of this pipe?
I try not to partake myself. You see, I find that a clear mind is the best way to get to the task at hand.
Well, I respect it.
Good.
Truthfully, I only partake for my glaucoma.
Yeah, this is by the way, this is a male Hadozi. This is the first Hadozi that you guys have met. For some of you, it won't be the first Hadozi that you've seen, but it is the first Hadozi that you've met. Kit, you've met plenty of Hadozi, but this is the first Hadozi that Kazamak will have ever seen. It is the first Hadozi that Vinsire will have ever seen. Brahm, this is the first Hadozi that you will have ever seen.
Have I read about them?
You will have read about them.
Okay.
Hadozi people never migrated west to off the islands. They stayed in the Great Wood.
Okay.
It's a huge rainforest. It's it's like a coniferous rainforest, in North America. How we have those rainforests in Canada. That's what the Great Wood is. It's this gigantic coniferous rainforest. It's
literally Planet of the Apes.
Yep. It's literally Planet of the because I love those fucking films.
The elves fucked up and the apes took over.
Yep. The apes were given control. The Hadozi, but this is a Hadozi named Bob Duvall. He wears this really proper dark blue robe that's like cinched at the waist with like a yellow like belt, like cloth belt. And he's got like really finely manicured like in hands. He wears open sandals. So his feet are showing, his toes are showing, his toes are like even
He's just the most proper random wizard
like,
ever.
yeah, he's very like very proper. Like, I wouldn't dare drink caffeine.
Oh, we're gonna get along just fine, Bob.
I am very glad to hear it. Because you see, I think that as I get to work, if we have a less than stellar relationship, it could be detrimental to that work, if you understand.
I do.
This dude is literally Adam. Just no personality.
I think Adam has more personality
Than old Bobby Duvall. You little-
All right,
Sure.
Henry, you have Bob Duvall as your Arcanist. Bob Duvall. All right. Finally, we come to Vinsire. Vinsire.
Hi.
Hi.
I would like to spend my first day. I want to spend over the course of 8 hours casting plant growth in my garden.
Yeah.
So after 8 hours for the next year, plants and crops in the area will have a 2x yield. So my question to you is, what I would like to establish is, because I'll be able to produce, instead of enough for one greater healing potion, enough for two, but I'll make the second one.
No, you don't have to make the second one.
Well, I didn't know if the harvest was like it can only make one, or okay.
If you're just, it's a mechanic on top of a mechanic. So in those instances, the DM has to rule, and I'm just going to rule that it doubles the yield.
All right, cool. So I'm going to spend my first day to make sure that's good. I'm going to spend my second day making sure I have a good establishment of some good demon weed plants and some warfu lichen. We're going to make sure we get that planted in a nice kind of arid, like kind of in the Anemeta mushrooms is a good place for those to grow in. So they'll be sparsed in there. So don't go, and there'll be signs like just don't pick through the garden. Not because you can't, but like you might get something you don't want.
Okay.
Spend some time there, and then the rest I would like to spend basically either like going around the forest right around where we are to look for different ingredients I can't grow outside of like the red Anemeta mushrooms for other potions. So if I could do like a couple swamp nature checks, like one or two, and then see if I can't find something to throw a potion together for.
Propagate some plants.
Yeah, let's all right, so let's do, I'll give you 3 nature checks. We're going to be going from I don't want to wait for me to pull it up. Do you already have it up?
Yep.
All right, so we're going to go for the swamp. So you have your you just roll your nature check. So you're going to do 3 of them.
Okay.
So let me go ahead and roll those totals and let me know what you get.
29, 21, and 29.
Okay. So you can have, for each of those rolls, you can have, for the 29s, you can have 2 returns, like 2 batches of a DC 20 plant.
Okay.
You looking for a pen?
No, I was looking for my notebook. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. 2 patches DC 20. And then for the 21, is it just one batch?
1 batch of 20. And then for each of those, you can get a DC 15 batch. And I think it's a DC 12 batch. And that's just ingredients that you're harvesting when we say batch.
From the swamp specific.
From the swamp guide. And Kyle, could you go ahead and read off, could you scroll to the very top of that and read off what that is again for people?
The potions, brewing, and ingredients, like the big overarching thing, or?
Yes, well, like the name of the document. Like,
So the big name of the document is called Potion Brewing and Ingredients Gathering for D&D 5e, posted on GM Binder by Piccolo917.
There you go. Thank you. And give credit where credit's due. It is a really good resource. Really, really good resource. I
Or
love it.
they have a Patreon and everything.
Yep. Hey, go to their Patreon. Somebody's watching this. Go to their Patreon. Help somebody small out.
Next to your little sign of.
What else you doing, Vinsire?
Once I pick these ingredients, it's gonna get really. I'm gonna make some potions, and then I'll just text you because it's gonna take me a second to make sure if I have everything, or I might need one more thing for a specific because I don't get everything in this one biome. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I can promise you that we're getting ready to go to break.
Okay.
So you can tell me over break,
Fair enough.
or you can figure it out over break and tell me when we get back.
Perfect.
Okay. Does anyone have anything they want to role play with each other during this downtime? Maybe Kazumak telling the group over dinner, or you guys want to do the feast before we go to break?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. The night, let's say the night of the third night is the night of the feast. All your staff has arrived. Everyone is gathered around the table. There are about 24 people total here. There are the 2 guards. There's the Arcanist, the librarians. Doreen is there. Everyone is there that you guys hired on, plus the normal house staff. There are a total of 4 like servers and house staff that like clean up after you. So general like maids people, cleaning staff. There's the cook. They're all here. You see, there's even like some farmhands. It looks like a stable master, like a stable boy, kind of. Just taking care of the horses. So, what would you guys like to say as you guys are gathered around the table and they go to unveil, before they unveil the feast? Would anyone like to step up and say something to the group? Or give a toast? Go ahead.
I will very rudely stand on the table so everyone can see me. Yeah, I know. Clutch your pearls. I would like to kick this off by just saying we're very happy to have you all here. I haven't had the pleasure of seeing all of you yet. I've been busy, really giving it to Trevor and Michelle, and give them a little wink and like hold my glass up to them. But we're very excited to have you all here, and hopefully this feast can show you that you're not just employees, but this is a family. Luncheons and joint dinners because we're a family. Cheers.
They all like half-hearted, like, here, here.
I'm gonna turn to Xavier and be like, famous last words for when everyone died.
Indeed.
Except you, random citizen.
So as they say that, as you finish, the wait staff pulls off the coverings off the meal. In front of you is a full roasted pig, completely gutted and everything, obviously, but fully roasted pig on a spit. It's got the whole apple in its mouth and everything. Next to it is an entire pile of like fire roasted vegetables, like surrounding the pig. There are apples, there are oranges, there are like fruits like that. You got the pig. There are roasted potatoes. You guys gotta. Every time you do the thumbs up, I want to do it myself, but then it's gonna be 10 straight minutes of us doing thumbs up for no reason.
Wait until you watch it back.
Yeah, exactly. I saw them doing it when I was talking to Mikey. As they unveil the food, there's loaves and loaves of fresh baked bread too. Chef's been cooking all day. So you have all this to tuck into. There's butter, which is a rarity, but there's like a stick of butter for the bread, like a big hunking stick of like butter, like 3-4 pounds of butter.
I can't believe it's not butter.
Slathering on the bread. Go ahead, Kit.
Do we have ice? Like, do we have an ice cellar?
You do not.
We're not that kind of rich. We're just like butter rich.
Yeah.
Normal rich.
We're just
We don't get imported ice, but we get imported butter.
To be clear, you have the trappings of rich folk. You are not rich, but you do have the dressings of a rich group. You're
I
not.
can't wait. I can't wait till the first pay period rolls around and we can't pay a fucking person.
And the keep is repoed by the bank.
Goddamn Doreen and her fucking 250K a year salary.
So, as you guys are sitting around and finish your feast, and everyone's given us their 7 days, I think here's a good place to pause for a break. So, what we'll do, we're going to wrap up. When we come back from the break, we'll be coming in during the 7th day. So, think like noon, 7th day. Okay? That's what we'll be coming back into. So, as we close out, go ahead and take a couple of minutes. I'll see you guys back here at the table. Enjoy your break. Hey there, and welcome back from the break. I'm your Dungeon Master, Andrew Taylor, and this is Dungeons After Dark. So, I don't know why, but
We're so excited to be here, Andrew.
all right. So, coming back from break, we are going to come in right at the midday it's noon on day 7 of our downtime. So this is the end of our down week. Today, tomorrow morning, we should be stepping off to go to High Watch. However, at high noon on the 7th day, there's a knock at the door.
Hey guys, it's a knock.
Does our manager open the door for us, or do we have to go over?
You guys have to go get the door.
Damn it.
Where's
we go.
Azrath when you need him?
Yell, Doreen, can you get the door? And she'll get the door.
I'll just be poring over the books.
Remember that the goal of Dungeons and Dragons isn't for me to play with myself, but for you guys to play with me.
No, you're right. It's for us to watch you
It's
play with
always the goal
yourself.
for you to play with yourself.
All right, I'll walk over to the door then and just kind of like.
As you rip open the door, standing in front of you is a tall, kind of elvish-looking gentleman. You met him once before. You remember that Kit had a kind of a grudge with this gentleman. This is, if you remember correctly, his name is Orion.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Brian, was it?
Very clever. You know that it's Orion.
Do I know that it's Orion?
You
I
did.
bet that, I met him one time. Okay, fine. Oh,
Well,
hell.
it was a pretty memorable thing. You were given free reign to go kill people by the Lord Mayor of a city.
That's fair. I would 100% remember. Oh, Orion, what can we do for you?
May I come in?
Yeah, please.
Orion steps through the threshold. Yeah, thank you. So, I've come as a bearer of slightly bad news. It's best if I deliver it to the whole of the party. I'm seeing the surprise on dear Kit's face.
Oh, yeah. She definitely seemed a little upset with you last time we were together, but yeah, I'll round him up real quick.
Yes, you kidnap one's entire family and tribe of people, and then all of a sudden you're a villain.
You know what? I've been on that side of things too, and people just don't understand.
Hey, Brian's here. Brian.
Very clever. I know that you know that it's Orion.
It is a good bit, though.
Are you
Can't
sure?
lie. I'm
Alright.
gonna look up. I'm just gonna I guess I'll just kind of yell through the halls. Hey, we got a visitor.
Yeah, guys. Hey, guys. Brian's here.
The Orion guy that we met at the casino.
What did
I'm
you
running
say?
in.
You said his
I'm gonna-
name's Orion? Ooh.
Oh, I will come running in with my 2 recruits trailing like a solid 100 feet behind me.
Mhm.
And I'm like, all right, you two take the rest of the day off. Kit's got some business to take care of.
Daddy's got business at the time.
Refer to yourself in the third person. But as you go inside, as you hear the yelling, you walk inside. Standing in the front doorway, as you come through the back doorway, you see Orion standing there. Orion is just standing in the doorway, just on the entryway. Ah, Kit. You look placid as ever.
Did I hear all them saying Brian?
Yes. They said Brian is here. Oh, Brian is here.
I'll hands on hips, looking up at him, be like, Brian, how are you?
He just kind of sighs. He goes, it's getting old. My finger is getting twitchy. Do you feel a very subtle shift in the pain center of your hand?
Not flinching one bit. I'm like, yeah, it is kind of annoying, having things that are given to you taken away.
Did he just threaten to finger us?
It's you get used to it after a while, but maybe we can all work to getting what's ours back.
I don't want him to finger us.
He goes, right, sure. You, as you'll recall, are supposed to be in High Watch in 1 week's time to present your case for Calypso. He goes, are you shocked that I know? You shouldn't be. By now, you should know that we have people in most places that, well, they're having people in. I come to tell you that if you hope to meet that time frame, you need to go pack your bags. The High Court, the Triarchs, are meeting tomorrow.
That's an accelerated schedule.
It is. And I hate to be the bearer of yet more burden.
You love it.
I do. Winks at you.
Hmm.
I would say that, for the most part, your performance in delivering these items, he produces 3 crowns out of a satchel on his waist. They're the tiaras that you rescued from the pirates. He goes, you delivered these perfectly. However, I cannot trust any third party to carry these. So, on behalf of Vittorio, I'm calling in his favor. For restoring your house to its present state, restoring to the estate grounds, Vittorio would have you escort these crowns to their final person who owns them. The true owner.
Who is?
Ah, she's a lovely elven woman. Goes by the name Illyria.
Well, I mean, that sounds relatively straightforward. I mean, we're heading up that way. My only concern is, I mean, isn't it a week's travel? And if they're convening tomorrow, I don't see how we'll possibly make it in time.
Ah, yes, which is why I said go pack your bags. He produces a scroll. He goes, this scroll will get you to Highwatch.
Hmm.
Well, if you say so.
Just bear in mind that while the inn itself is reputable, you will most likely be popping in directly into the middle of a packed, inn. So try not to kill anyone, Kazumak.
Ah, I'll try my best, and I'll wink at him.
Hmm. May I see that scroll, please, Brian?
He hands you the scroll.
He kills you.
Just standard teleport spell scroll.
It is. It is slightly modified as you kind of look at it. The destination of this is built into the spell workings. This goes one place and one place only. However, it takes out the randomness of the spell. You're getting there.
Huh.
It's some pretty nifty spell work, actually. Pretty advanced. Like on the spell scroll itself, the location is essentially worked on the edges. So the location is basically the magic for the location is worked on the edges of the scroll around the outside perimeter, while the actual spell work in Arcana is inside that border.
This
That was
is
pretty sick.
this is impressive. I'm sorry, Orion. Is this your spell work?
It is not.
Oh, well, thanks anyway, Brian. All right. Well, I'm gonna go pack some shit.
Right. Hit a word.
I'll head off to go pack my shit as well.
She'll give kind of like a half-ass little like bow, and like we'll walk wherever he goes.
He kind of like leads off into the kitchen. He goes, I have something to tell you, to give you a bit of time for preparation. In 5 days' time, you're to host a dinner. My benefactor would like to meet you.
Vittorio?
No. Vittorio is not my benefactor. Far from it. Vittorio is a pawn that I move around the board as I see fit. My benefactor is the wizard responsible for that spell scroll. They will talk to you how you can earn back your tribe. You see, they've rooted out the bad apples and are ready to bargain.
When he says root out the bad apples, is he referring to like killing off the more fighty people in my tribe?
You'd have to ask.
Is that's not something I can just like pick up on the nuance?
I mean, you get the sense that he's nuanced. You get the sense more so that like you don't know necessarily that means killed. You don't necessarily know what it means, but you get the sense that he's talking about that group of people, a group of people who would fight back, or maybe has something to do with why they were taken. I mean, from the start of this, you have to have understood that you are not the goal, right? Like you are not why they were taken. You may be a part of it, but you are not the why behind it. So whatever that why is, it seems that they've gotten to the bottom of what they wanted.
And what might be this wizard's purpose for my people? If he's, hand selected the ones he no longer needs.
There's much that's been kept from you, from me, from everyone. Much about the past. Much can be learned from the secrets that lie within your Kinokage. Much can be learned from the Inari. However, we've gotten all that we can from them with questions, with knives. They divulge nothing. So, the time has come for drastic measures. But that is a time and a conversation for later. He goes, prepare yourselves, dress appropriately. Our benefactor does enjoy a party. And he steps off through the back door. So, in a couple of days' time, did I say 3 or 5? I already forgot.
5.
I was going to say, I thought I said 5, but originally I had 3 on the paper. So, yeah, 5 days' time. So,
after Henry gets back, I would like to talk to him specifically about that, I guess.
Okay. So as you guys finish packing your bags, anything that you want to like specifically mention that you're packing? Vinsire, all your potions that you made. So off camera, you rolled a 17, I believe.
One potion of greater healing.
Okay.
That was it.
Okay, so that one's good. You have that. And then at the end of the
And the one that the Bastion made over the 7 days.
Correct. At the end of the 7-day period, you get your Bastion. Henry?
I would like to have during those 7 days placed my time dragon egg in a chest and placed an arcane lock upon that chest.
Okay.
So.
Oh, and each of you has a private room as well, by the way, if you haven't put that together yet.
Yeah. And that will be my room.
Got it.
Yeah. And then my new spell focus wand. That's it. And a little cheese for Philip. I'm gonna bring some extra cheese.
I would have probably at the course of the week grabbed some sort of map, so I can kind of get a better idea of where it is I am going throughout this continent, as I've never wandered around the continent.
Yeah.
Just gonna grab one of my trinkets that I made.
Got it.
And then altered my infusions.
Oh, and then I also get my
To what? You have to tell me what they are.
So enhanced defense would just be just a single one. Enhanced defense would be one of the ones I have currently.
Yep.
Do you want me to add healing word into my Robert Hawk?
Why?
Because it's part of the Bastion.
Oh yeah.
So I get it. So okay, I get it at a free use then.
Correct.
Cool.
When Henry gets down I'm just gonna like walk over to you, pull your cloak. That spell scroll, you still have it?
Yep. Yes. Yes.
So Brian told me that we're to be expecting guests in about 5 days' time, and the benefactor, in loose terms, is the one who created that spell scroll.
Oh. Well, this is someone I would very much like to meet. This is a fine piece of magic, very potent and powerful.
I want to meet him too. Not because I'm impressed with him, but I think I have some choice words to give him. I don't think he's a very nice person.
Well, the truly powerful rarely are. So we're expected back here within the next 5 days. So we have to finish up what we're doing and.
Yeah, a lot of moving timelines. And with that thought, I'll call to Doreen. We're expecting guests. I don't know to what capacity, but I would imagine trying to muster the best party you can create. We have some pretty uppity people coming in about a week's time.
Ooh, I can put together quite a small feast. I'll put together such a spectacular little thing. They'll be quite blown away.
I'm sure they will love it.
Okay. She has her orders. She will get to work on that. It will take care of itself as the Bastion does.
And whenever the group gets there, I'll relay the message that I was given from Orion about the party. But I won't go into as much detail about him being wizards and such.
And before Doreen leaves from that conversation, I'll be like, oh, and Doreen, if you would be so kind, I've written this letter. Can you see that it makes it to what's his name? The Silver Serpent.
Vittorio.
Vittorio, that's what it is. Can you see that it makes it to Vittorio? And if we get a reply while we're gone, please just leave that, slide it under my door to my room.
Will do. You're gonna text me? Or...
Yeah.
Okay.
Sneaky bitch.
He's the danger to the party. It was
as everyone's gathering together, I want to make note once I see Brahm leave his was it chapel? Sanctuary? And then I want to try to go in and use the mirror before I leave.
Use anything of mine.
I don't know.
There's nothing that says you can't use a magical item.
Well, I thought you said like you can't.
Well, it's not part of the bastion.
I put it on the wash like part of the facility.
It's not. He just can't benefit from the facilities.
Yeah, like I couldn't go sleep there and get the health benefit.
I'm just gonna let you know Xavier's in there. So
yeah, don't forget that rule that's new to this campaign about sleeping in an owned bed.
What do you mean?
You get an extra. It was hit at the start of this campaign. You have a new rule. You sleep in an owned bed. You gain a point of inspiration in the morning.
Oh, yeah. Like if I slept in my own bed.
Yep. If you sleep in a bed that you own,
bed
that you own, like a house, you get a point of inspiration.
Oh, that's sweet! I totally forgot about that.
Incentivize you to spend time with this new mechanic.
Man, we were just fucking glowing this entire week.
Yeah, literally. Then yeah, I want to try to go in there.
Okay. Remember that time where I said, "Hey, what do you guys want to do over 7 days?" You guys, I do nothing but help my people. Remember that? Remember that? Remember when that happened?
Oh, well, everyone was like in their areas, so I wasn't sure how that worked.
Go ahead, Kazumak. What do you want to do?
I just want to try to use the mirror to scry on the crags and see what is currently going on in the weeks that I've been gone.
I assume that you're talking about your people, the
Correct.
Ranga. I'm gonna need you to be more specific than that, though. Like you're gonna have to name a person. You can't just like scry on a city.
I would say specifically, I want to see what old Jonky's doing.
Oh my god, that name.
It's just,
I thought the same thing when I saw it.
it's junk.
Jonk. Oh, okay. It looked like it was spelled a different way.
Yeah, it does.
She's worked her way up the chain. She's sleeping with the chief.
I know.
It looks that way. It's not what it is though. It's just junk. Yeah, that's funny though. I didn't even make. You know, it's funny. I didn't even make that fucking connection.
I have yet to actually need to like say the dude's name, so I'm like, I don't know if this is how it's pronounced or not.
Yeah, junk. Yeah, you look for Jean. Jean's your mentor, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rune speaker.
Yeah. So you scry on rune speaker Jean, and he is currently sleeping on a big ass rock in like the middle of the village, like sunbathing.
Nice.
Like drunkenly, like in the middle of the day.
Checks out. And then just the general area. So I guess if he's sleeping, then it must be decently okay there. So I'm like, looks good enough.
Okay.
Trailer Park, West Virginia.
Would Xavier see any of this?
Yeah.
So he would see all this. He wouldn't interject or anything like that.
No, why would he? Kazumak's an owner of the house.
Oh, I was just asking that.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't. Yeah.
He's an underage priest. He's not going to be like uppity with the masters.
Let alone the headmaster of the library. Are you kidding me?
Just an 8-year-old altar boy. I don't know.
Whoa, he's underage. Whoa, no. We don't need that. We don't need
That's
that.
crazy. Brahm's taking a really big liking to whatever the fucking name is.
Spent a lot of time in there.
A 24-year-old man.
Whoa. No.
Okay.
All right, that's it. I'm good.
Okay.
I'll just make my way back to the group with my bag, ready to do this teleportation.
Don't need my horse.
You're going. No, not where you're going. You're going to no, you don't.
We're gonna be teleporting into an inn. Can I bring? No.
Yeah.
No.
Remember, you're going into it.
After that, I don't got old fucking Emily with me. Or Sally.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to remember that name.
I could text you.
Okay.
What, Jockey or
Oh, I gotta look at my tracker and see if I have it on here. Might be one I missed.
Brahm? What's your altar boy's name?
Xavier.
Little Xavier, age of 8,
24.
under the wing of the large Luxodon man.
8 years.
Oh, yes, got it. Yes, sorry. That's what I mean. I knew the name. I knew the name was recent, but I couldn't place where it was from. Yeah.
I got you.
Ah,
Okay.
real
Yeah.
name.
Cool. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. All right. So as you guys gather in the house with the teleportation scroll, bags ready to go, you know that you're being teleported to an inn, but you don't know what the name of the inn is, or if they're expecting you, or really anything else at all. So you know that you're going to High Watch. For most of you, this is a first. Actually, I think for everyone except for Henry, really, this is a first. So this is going to be interesting. Henry, you've been to High Watch. In your travels, you've been to High Watch. You know the beauty that is High Watch, the majesty that is High Watch, the fucking batshit nuttiness of the ruling caste that is High Watch. The bird folk of the high city of High Watch are quite full of themselves. They have what they call high lingo. My good man, good fellow, how are you, good sir?
Old England.
They have their high lingo. They think lowly of everyone else. They don't share power. They don't share wealth. It's a beautiful place, but it is not a friendly place necessarily. High Watch is technically 3 small towns that are connected by rope bridges that sit atop 3 concurrent peaks on top of ridgeline of mountains. High Watch is so far in the high above the clouds that until the fall of the empire, High Watch wasn't even known to exist. The bird folk who built it high in the peaks of High Watch hid it in the clouds outside the sight of the emperor. For his entire reign, they sat and watched. And when he fell, when the free cities announced themselves free, High Watch came from the clouds and announced itself. It is this beautiful city built atop 3 concurrent peaks, connected by these swinging rope bridges, these long swinging rope bridges. The bird folk can just fly from one section of the city to the next. You guys have to walk across these rickety fucking rope bridges. There's no checks or anything. It's just sketchy as hell. But as you guys walk, as you would do this, it's pretty cool. But High Watch sits atop these mountains. It's colder than hell up here. It is when you get there. It's colder than hell there. It is beautiful. It is festive and bright. The bird folk love their pretty colors. It's like this painted stone city high above the clouds, like something out of a fairy tale. So as you guys gather in the bastion, that is what awaits you. And as you pull out the teleportation scroll, any last words? Go ahead, Henry.
I would like to first grab like a walking stick or something.
Okay.
Like even if it's just like a branch or
Sure,
something.
you can find like a walking stick somewhere.
I will cast right before we teleport. I'll cast Disguise Self, and make myself one of the bird folk, but very old, and make one of my wings look a little crippled.
Okay.
Justify the fact that I'm not flying, and then turn everybody's like, are we ready?
I'm gonna look at Henry and just go, why did you change?
The city's entirely populated with bird folk. I guess it makes sense to blend in.
It'll make things much easier for us, I think, when we arrive.
Should we have anything to worry about considering the rest of us?
No, just as long as you can handle being talked down to a little, you should be fine. I mean,
we'll see.
I don't know. I think Kazimac's ego might crumble.
Well,
it might.
Try and keep it in check because there's a lot more of them than there are of us, and we'll all die.
Well, as long as there's no other giants, I'll be okay.
In a flaming ball of glory.
Nope, no glory. Just our own shit and death. We die in our own shit. All right?
What kind of...
Got it.
All right.
Well,
Pull out the scroll and do the thing.
All right. You pull out the scroll and do the thing. 1 minute.
Oh, no, wait!
1 minute you're here. The next minute, you're standing in a dank basement. Into existence. You pop. It's very, very still, dark, and musty here. Very dimly lit from cracks above you. You can hear noise above you very clearly. Kind of it's about, by the time you guys got out of there and everything, it's probably about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's still lunchtime. It's a pretty lively scene upstairs. There's like light coming through the cracks in the floorboards. You can kind of look around. There's like wine bottles down here. You're kind of like in the cellar down here.
Well, this is an interesting location underneath the inn.
I mean, it makes sense if you think about it. They're mainly criminals, so.
Fair enough. I want to kind of like glance around for a trapdoor or a ladder or something to exit the basement.
Yeah, there's a set of stairs that goes up to the ceiling. As you walk up them, You just kind of push the trap door and it opens easily. As you
Oh.
push it open, you realize immediately you're behind the bar and there's a bartender standing there.
Huh. Hello? Tunk, tunk,
What are you,
tunk, tunk.
what are you doing down there?
I don't know, to be honest with you. And I'm just gonna kind of like continuously, just like casually continue climbing up and like.
Yeah, you climb up, and as you guys do, you get a good look at this the person behind the bar. The person behind the bar is a female owlin. She's wearing kind of like a smock essentially, and a dress that like is made of like dyed feathers. So like the dress itself is made of dyed feathers that like go over top of her like natural feathers, but it gives like really pretty like colorful like tie-dye feel to the dress, and it like flows with her movement.
As I come up, I want to say, "Oh, this is not where I put my horse."
Make sure you're speaking a little bit louder because you're being quiet again.
Okay. Oh, this is not where I parked my horse.
What? You took a horse here?
So she goes, "Someone better explain to me how you got in there."
Well, most strange things happen because of magic.
Vinsar, please allow me. Kind lady, I do apologize for startling you, but we just happened to have some business that brought us down there, and now we're coming back up. I would really appreciate if you didn't ask any questions, and you know what? If you never saw us, that'd be even better. And I'll take 5 gold and slide on over to her.
5 gold? 5 gold? Who do you think you are? Trying to bribe me?
Do you not know who I am?
5 gold's not very much.
Young lady, this is... You could buy 5 candy bars with this.
It's the economy, Boomer. It's horrible.
I make 50 gold off a single bottle of whiskey.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll buy a bottle of whiskey, and you can have it.
A bottle of whiskey and... She counts you. 7 ales.
7? What's your name?
Me? Serenity Gall. Owner and proprietor of this here establishment, The Lonely Egg. That's right. Serenity Gall of The Lonely Egg.
Nice.
I like it.
Well played.
I like you, Serenity.
Well, Henry, it looks like you heard the woman. You got to buy us 7 ales.
6 for you, 1 for me.
Oh.
Very well, Serenity.
I have a drinking habit.
While I'm here, do you brew in-house?
Oh, of course we do.
Yeah, I'm just getting into. I'm kind of
all the materials up the mountains.
I'm getting to a kind of a hobbyist. I was looking to pick up some of those materials, getting really into it. So I was maybe got like a starter, get just like a beaker, some stuff, you know.
Oh, I thought you were just asking if we make everything in house. We don't. We have industrial sized equipment. We don't have anything to sell you.
Oh, well, can you like put in an order with your wholesaler or something? Just give me a good deal. Just trying to get started, you know.
You can try any of the number of shops that would sell them. There's several magic shops and artisan shops here. There's also the Spice Bazaar that probably sells them.
A lot of shops. And where is that in relation to where we are now?
Well, we are in the trade district, so here. Outside, obviously, but here. So, again, who are you?
Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, Serenity. How much did those ales come to in that bottle of whiskey? That
57 gold.
That's what I assumed. Here you go. Here's 57 gold. Thank you very much.
Expensive.
She gets the bottle of whiskey down from the top shelf, hands it to you guys. She then takes the time to pour 7 ales, saving the best and poured one for herself. Gives the other 6 to you guys. Henry, you get the one with the most foam.
Tracks.
And she goes, "So, who are you?"
Oh, we're actually here on quite important business, and we somehow ended up down there. But we're here. Business does not concern you, I don't think. It's a matter of meeting with the council.
Yeah, we weren't down there for anything sexual.
Well, can I at least help you find what you're looking for?
No, nothing sexual happened in the basement.
Well, I mean, if you could,
Okay.
I guess,
It's
if you
odd
could,
that you pointed out because I didn't ask. And that
That's
leads me to
fine.
believe that maybe something sexual happened.
I just wanted to make that clear.
I'm starting to think that it might be sexually based now.
I'll chime in to like fucking put this back on track. If you want to point us in the direction of where the council will be convening, that would be greatly appreciated.
You remember you're also looking for an elf woman.
What was her name? I have it. Illyria.
And some brewing supplies, guys. We got to pick that up.
And also, if you know a woman named Illyria, that also would be splendid.
Oh, there actually is a woman named Deliria. She's been here for 2 days straight. She's just been buying drinks and sitting quietly at the bar. And she's right over there. She points down the bar. Sitting at the far end of the bar on the left-hand side is a slender elvish woman with blonde hair.
Has she looked at us yet?
She's staring directly at you.
Like how, you know?
Yeah, you wave. She waves back and then like gestures for you to come over.
I'm gonna walk down the bar seats.
How athletic.
It's not even that. I'm literally just lazy and I don't want to get down.
Yeah, so as you guys walk up to Illyria, you kind of gauge the woman. She's probably about 6 feet tall, maybe weighs about 120 pounds, tall, slender, elvish woman, extremely slender. You don't see any weapons on her person. Henry, you see on her hands tattoos that you have seen a handful of times before.
Okay.
Past life is coming out.
I assume you're the one waiting on the items that we brought.
I am indeed waiting on those items.
What exactly were the items you were waiting on? You can never be too careful with something as valuable.
3 tiaras, stolen by pirates from Calypso, who were stolen originally by dwarves,
Wow.
who helped sack the city of Evergreen,
It was deep.
when my people were slaughtered by the Grey Emperor.
That is good enough for me.
You guys, can I have everyone make insight checks, please?
12.
Oh, baby, natural 19 for
21.
dirty 20. I thought I had better insight than that.
When she's talking about the slaughter of the elves, Van Eth gets uncomfortable. Like he's uncomfortable hearing about the elves being slaughtered. He's an Eladrin. He's basically a cousin of the elves.
Yeah, makes sense.
And remember, he's admitted to fighting with the elves against the Hadozi.
Well, would you like to conduct this business in the open, or perhaps do you have a room? that we can.
Well, in fact, I was hoping you could help me escort them through the city to the council chambers. I hear that you have business there yourself.
We do.
Yes, we do.
Well, I think that perhaps our interests align. I promise you it'll be worth your time.
This is not gonna go well.
Andrew, what do the tattoos look like?
There is a crescent moon that flows around the curvature of the thumb and forefinger, the pointer finger. It curves right around here. Inside the crescent moon are the arcane symbols that represent the weave. It's like the arcane math that is like the representation, the accepted representation of the weave. And that is built inside of the crescent moon.
What do each of these tiaras or crowns look like?
They are copper. They have 3 points. They're copper. They're like they sit all the way around the top of the head. They're a complete circlet. In the front, there's a raised like section. It has 3 points to the crown. They go 1, 2, 3 in the middle.
And they're all identical?
They're all identical. They're finely made. They look very old, but like there's nothing like other than being what they are, like a priceless relic from a lost civilization now, like they wouldn't have value. It doesn't look like.
Yeah, well, I mean, it sounds good to me to escort him up there. We're heading that way anyways.
Yes, yes.
Well, then, we have an accord. She goes, I will pay you. She takes out a couple hundred gold. She hands you guys 600 gold to split. She goes, not bad for a short jaunt through town, I don't think.
Are you expecting trouble?
Elves are second-class citizens here, and I would rather not be robbed of priceless artifacts simply for being me. There's enough of that in this city as it is.
Very well.
So, you guys depart with Illyrian. As you guys go through the city, you guys quickly realize you are in the westernmost part of the city. It's the westernmost, essentially, think of the city as being built like at the snow cap line. So where the cloud line is, the snow cap line there, that's where the city starts. And it's built all the way around in a circle around the mountain. So that all the way up the peak is essentially just stone architecture that's built into the city, the walls of the mountain. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
A lot of it's like carved in and like jointed in with stone. So it's just like super secure, like built into the side of a mountain. You guys are on the far westernmost peak in this westernmost like stone tower in the trade center of the city. You got to make your way to the central tower, to this, which is known as the Tower of the Triarchs. It is where the Triarch's temple is, where they hold like their court, where they receive their like people. You guys make your way through the trade district, which is only in the western part of the city, all the way through across this giant bridge. As you step across this bridge, if any of you were scared of heights, you would not want to do this. It is crazy. It's looking straight down like 1,200 feet to like jagged rock. And this rope bridge, you have to hold on to it. And it's got like wood slats on the side and on the bottom. Like it's fairly secure, but like it sways in the wind by nature of like the wood slat. So you're literally like walking while you're sideways. It's pretty intense. Definitely not safe. No saves required because you do have assistance, but as you walk across, it's pretty terrifying.
What
Eventually,
elevation? Oh. Go ahead.
Swiss Alps. level. These are
like 20,000 feet or something.
Yeah, it's cold as fuck up here. You guys are not doing okay. Like you're gonna suffer if you weren't just like moving from inside one area to another area, you would be like suffering for sure.
Damn. As long as it's not higher than 20,000 feet.
Yeah. So as you guys make your way to the Tower of the Triarchs, as you get close, you can tell that there's like a bunch of people going the same direction. It's obvious that the Triarchs are going to say something pretty astounding if they are about to, like, they moved up the announcement. Like, it's got to be something timely. So as you guys get into this, as you come to this temple, let me describe this temple. The temple itself is held up in front by 3 pillars. But these are not just normal cylindrical pillars. They're actually curvatures of the first Triarchs. There is an Owlin, a Ravenfolk, and an Aarakocra. They hold up this temple on their shoulders. One of each of those species has always represented the Triarchs. There's never been a species outside of those 3 that has represented the Triarchs. Only those 3 original species have ever been elected. Every 8 years, there's an election here. This is an election year. It's due in the next 9 months. They'll hold an election. Unless like something crazy were to happen, then they would have to hold emergency elections. So as you guys walk through this gigantic stone temple, there are about 150 people in here, inside here. You guys walk straight to the front where the reception room is, because you are presenting items with this woman. She goes, "Stick close. I'll have you actually hand the items over if that's okay. A chance for you to talk to the Triarchs for a moment before I do my business. But please, remember, you only get a couple of moments with them, and then it's my turn. But make sure you get what you need. You may not get a second chance."
Yeah, that definitely works. I'm perfectly fine with handing over the items for you.
It's done as a group. If only one of you goes, only one of you will be able to talk to the Triarchs.
Oh, yeah, we're all gonna go. We're all gonna go. Not
Good.
just Kazma.
No one else was saying anything.
That's good. I think that's lovely. So, as you are ready, I think it's time to present these items properly. You see she kind of like gestures with her hand, and 3 pillows appear, like in the air, like materialize out of the air, like apparate, and they go to like fall. And you guys can catch them as they go to fall. She goes, "For the tiaras, of course." She puts a tiara on each of the pillows and hands it in your hands. Who has a tiara? So we got Henry and Kazimak. Who wants to hold the 3rd tiara? Kit will hold the 3rd tiara. Okay. You guys have the tiaras. About an hour goes by where you guys are just kind of like standing around, milling around. About 400 people fill up this space by the time it's filled. You guys are in the very front with the rest of the presenters. You're at actually the front of the line for the presenters. The Triarchs are announced by the blaring of a trumpet. Exactly. Do, 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 do. The trumpets blare. Music bursts into the audience. You hear the announcer yell, "All rise for the honorable Triarchs of High Watch." There's a full fucking like marching band that begins the
Oh my god.
like no, like out of like fucking Dumbo. Like kind of like comical. It's like so over the top that it's comical to the outside observer. But you can see that the bird folk the highest members of society here in High Watch are eating this shit up. They're like flapping up and down, like they're like in bursts of like 10 to 15 feet. They'll like rise up and scream, then flap back down, and like that's happening throughout the crowd. So it's like this. The ceiling here is like 100 feet, so they're just like it's like this huge space, this three-dimensional space filled with people that are like losing their fucking shit because they can all fly. So they're above you, they're around you, they're behind you. It's this cacophony of like noise and celebration as the Triarchs make their way. And as the Triarchs enter, they are a sea of gold, of silver, of metal, of expensive jewelry, of ancient artifacts stolen from societies that they shouldn't be able to claim. You see them fitting all their best elven attire, gifts given to them by elven citizens, elven exiles that have taken harbor here for the last several hundred years in High Watch. These are refugees from the Great Woods. Well, the Bleeding Woods now, but was once the Great Woods. They have attempted, through giving jewelry and items and treasures and promises of more, tried to win throughout the years the Triarch's aid. These Triarchs, and specifically, have been known to be specifically gluttonous for elven artifacts and elven wares and goods, but have always, to a number, have been known to turn down the elven proposals for a High Watch invasion to win back elven control of the Bleeding Woods. Oh. Here, our elven woman stands in front of us with gifts to do the same thing. Go ahead.
So, since the elves are taking refuge in High Watch, do I observe any elves?
Oh, there's a bunch of elves.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a bunch of elves here too, but it's mostly bird folk. But there's a bunch of elves. There's a sprinkling of humans. There's some halflings. Like there's guests in the city as well, like humans, halflings, and stuff like that.
Okay.
But it's the people who make up this city are High Watch avian species, the raven folk, the Aarakocra, the owlin, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's the elven refugees that left the Bleeding Woods. Okay. Before they were slaughtered. Or they grew up. There were kids who grew up here. So, the Triarchs enter, all of them dressed exorbitantly in gold and stolen relics from elven society. They sit on elvish-made wooden thrones, carved by the finest elvish craftsmen of their time, wearing linens made by today's elvish craftsmen and women. They sit down and the music ends. The first Triarch, a ravenkind, stands up. He goes, "You've gathered here today to hear our decree on this supposed Grey Emperor." He claps his hands. He goes, "We will do what we have always done. Defend our mountain." And the crowd erupts, goes berserk. "We will not leave our mountain until this has been sorted out. Only the Gallimimus scouts, the mage riders, will be permitted to leave. You guys see on the side of the audience 2 of these mage riders because they stand out. What these mage riders are, you see 2 Aarakocra, one on the left-hand side of the auditorium, another on the right-hand side of the auditorium. They are probably 6 foot tall themselves, riding 8 foot tall Gallimimus beasts. These are like slightly winged dinosaur versions of Gallimimus that can glide. They can't fly, but they have a glide of 100 feet. These creatures roam the mountainsides wild sometimes. They were domesticated over a period of a couple of hundred years and are now used by the scouts to glide down mountain ranges and do scouting missions for hidden giants and orcs and all sorts of nasties in the woods on the mountain range. You see them now patrolling.
How
He
big?
goes,
How big in relation is these creatures? Like how big?
they're big. They're 8 foot tall.
They're 8 foot tall?
Yeah,
Got
they're
it.
8 feet tall creatures. So like it's like the size of a horse essentially.
Okay.
Yeah, like somebody riding a big horse, like a Clydesdale essentially. So he goes, so that is that. We will not yield. We will win as we have always win, because we will sit in our mountain keeps and let them bash their brains against the mountain. Let them die in its slopes and in its peaks. Let them bodies decay in its crags. We will be victorious. And you hear everybody erupt. The crowd silent. He silences the crowd. He sits. The Aarakocra stands up.
You've heard much about this Grey Emperor, but we want to hear from you. What are the people needing? What do you say? Our lonely friends in the low cities, tell us, what can we do to make your lives better?
And she gestures out. This woman is probably in her 80s. She is, like I said, Aarakocra. She is wearing like in so much jewelry on her earrings that her earlobes are like dragging.
Nice.
It's like Persian levels of like societal decay here. That much like exorbancy. She goes,
Tell me.
so the first thing that happens is a gentleman steps up. The announcer steps up and goes, first, a plea from an elven woman for a invasion of the Great Woods to return it to elven control. She brings with her a gift of 3 elven tiaras to be worn at court. He bows, and you guys are gestured to bring the tiaras up. Okay, so as you guys, Kit, do you go as well?
Yep.
Yeah, so as you guys walk up with the tiaras, you walk up to the triarchs. All of you walk up together, but you 3 are in the front with the triarchs. Vaneth is there as well. He's been quiet. You guys don't talk to Vaneth like you did with Alexander. I don't know why.
Honestly,
I
I
don't know
forget
why.
he's even
I
there.
always forget he's with us.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. He's not meant to be like Alexander was. But he's meant to be a quiet character, but you guys can talk to him. He's got a lot to say.
Well, Chris was also emotionally attached to Alexander.
So
Yeah, I would say Vanessa's not about to get a funeral like Alexander got.
So yeah, a little heartbroken from last time too. So as you guys get in front, you do a gentle kind of like bow at the waist, as you see like everybody else do. Just kind of like you kind of have to like get the crowns out. You kind of like got to lean forward at the waist to like hand them out. And as you hand them out, they are snatched up greedily. It's not even like they take the pillow and like gently look at them. They snatch them off the pillow. They rip off the headdresses they're wearing. And
These greedy fucks.
and toss on the new ones. They go, you hear the one go,
This is spectacularly made.
you hear the third, which is the owlin, go, indeed, who made these?
These shits are cursed.
And she goes, these were made at the height of the bleeding war by a powerful artificer and craftsman. He was known for his simple but remarkable jewelry. I hope that you enjoyed him as much as I do. They gently tap him. They go, we do, indeed. They go, the announcer goes, this group, he like kind of like leans in, this group also has a message to deliver. You guys may have the table.
Yes.
As a group, we all say. We come bringing a message from Calypso. I feel like I don't know if you all have been made privy to what happened, but a large majority of the Armada was sacked some week ago. And the Grand Admiral has a proposition for support that they would like us to bring to you.
And did you hear our decree that we would not send out anything?
Yes, but the Grand Admiral seems to think that the offerings of warships may change that.
You see their greedy eyes light up. I won't even make you roll an insight check. Their eyes light up with greed.
Warships. We want 3.
The specifics of the proposition that were given to us that we are on authority to give is 1 warship for 10,000 of your best and another warship for 1 year's rations worth of food.
We want the Crimson Prince.
We cannot give that one, unfortunately. That was the one we were specifically told was off the table.
Then we will have Daughter of Dust.
It's the second biggest warship in the fleet.
We're to reel back a little bit. Were we given a variety to pick to give to them? We were just told not the Crimson.
You were just told not the Crimson Prince.
And
okay,
So you can have that one. Here's the Crimson Prince. Sure.
Daughter of Dust. Those are the 2.
There was another one. It wasn't the Daughter of Dust.
Oh.
I mean, again, we're just envoys come to send a message. That should be fine.
They look at each other.
Done. 10,000 to the southern wall. And a year's worth of rations for Calypso. Delivered from Letty's hold within 6 weeks. We want Calypso to claim our warships in that time frame. You're to deliver that message back to the Grand Admiral, and we will begin planning our voyages in the sea. And you see their eyes get greedy with the thoughts of other continents.
I'm gonna lean into Kit and I'm like, hey, Kit, they only had 3 weeks worth of rations left.
Is there any way that you could expedite the process, as much was lost in the recent events?
8,000 men, then. It's the best we can do. We won't be able to spare men from the fields to send to war if we need to get rations out faster.
And when you cut down 2,000 men from that number, how much time can you cut down as well?
We can get it down to 3 weeks. Half the time.
I'm gonna look to the group because I'm really not gonna be the delegate for.
Seemed like the best option.
Yeah, I mean, it seems pretty good to me.
Kazamak, you have the stone, right?
The what?
The
Sending stone.
The holiday
That.
Woody.
Oh, yeah, the one I gave to him. I can reach out to him.
Perhaps we should check in.
Hey, just checking in. The current offer is 8,000 soldiers and then food in 3 weeks. Over.
It's not what we wanted, but it's what we'll have to beg for. Fine. We can do it.
I'll go back. They would probably be more generous if you were willing to give up the Crimson.
No, it's the.
No, that's not what that's what he's saying. He's saying the Crimson Prince.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought.
Speaking to the Grand Admiral right now.
Yeah, the Dust Mother is the Daughter of Dust is what they're getting There's no issue with that.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. He goes, no, I'll never give up the prince.
That's like, you heard it. You heard it from them. They're willing to go with the deal, but that's what they'll take.
We'll take the 8,000 men on the southern border. We'll figure out the rest later. Tell them we're happy to do business. And we're looking for a new partnership.
And a quick point of order. What?
Oh, go ahead. Above table, go ahead.
Yeah, this is the library here, the one that you said where there's the restricted portions of the
Correct.
where the savant came from.
Correct.
They're the elves, baby.
So the announcer leans in and goes, Your Highnesses, the main plea is still yet to come. If we could wrap this up. Like he looks at you like holding a grudge, like hurry the fuck up. Like you're done.
All right.
As Meg punches him.
So as you get, I mean, if you are you just gonna step down? What are we doing?
I wanted to ask them for another something else to throw on this deal, just to see.
Okay.
I know it might be too much to ask, and I know it's not something that's really done, but I've read that you have a rare scroll from someone known by the name of the Traveler or the Pilgrim. And I was wondering what I might need to do to look at it, or at least have a peek.
You'll never see that scroll. No one but the avian species are permitted to into that section of the library, and only the Triarchs,
Gestures to themselves,
are able to see that particular item. The fact that you know it means that you have access to information you should not.
Well, it's an open offer. If there's anything...
Not to allow my dear friend to get ahead of himself. I think he's just very excited about future prospects. But I think it is also very good to point out that the Grand Admiral has agreed to 8,000 troops in 3 weeks' time. And we wish you, and I'll shoot daggers at Kazmak, not waste any more of your time. Triarchs. And I'll give a little curtsy.
Huh?
I will turn and walk away.
Okay. They kind of bow their heads gently. I can see. They let you leave. So, as you guys depart, with the tiaras on their heads, she walks up to them within about 6 feet. She goes, and loudly, she goes,
Hear me now, all in attendance. I am here to ask humbly, once again, for you to turn your armies east, not south, claim the woods, throw out the Hadozi, and give it back to the elves. Give us back our homeland. We shall forever be in your debt. We will enter a mutual defense pact. We will rally the elves together under one banner, and we will march south to face this emperor together. Or you will suffer.
You see at the first, the Triarchs were kind of just literally looking at their nails, fidgeting with their hands, fidgeting in their seats, two of them were talking, not even paying attention to her plea. Until the supper. And you see they kind of startle in their chairs. The Ravenkind in the middle stands up.
Who are you to threaten us? You come in here a beggar without a name. You come in here begging for scraps like the rest of your kin before you. heaving away the last of your treasures, leaving nothing for your kin. We've told you again and again, you and your kin, we will not march east this season or the next. For the foreseeable future, our armies will stay where they are, in High Watch. So I ask again, beggar, who the fuck are you to threaten the Triarchs of High Watch?
Everyone make a perception check.
Wait, what we got? Wow, not cool. 10.
21.
17.
15.
30, 20.
15 or better.
21.
You notice that the bright, like platinum blonde hair of your elven escortee has started at the very tip of its length turn red. I gotta fix my camera again. Give me 1 second. It's gonna go off. I'll fix it again.
Turning red.
Like red, like red hair color, like a normal red hair color. She goes,
Who am I? Who am I? I am the daughter of a slain elven lord, sister to a slain elven warrior, lover to a slain elven prince. I am the name whispered for 150 years in the dark.
her skin begins to change. Her hair starts to rapidly shift into this bright red, but you begin to see that her skin starts to shift slightly, like starts to model almost. As her hair becomes fully red, you see her for what she is. She's not a high elf. She's a wood elf with red hair, comely elven features, nothing very remarkable about her. She goes,
I'm the name that's been whispered in the dark for 150 years.
Long time.
I am mother to a lost people, mother to a forsaken tribe. I am Aina.
as her name, the elven visage shifts. Gone completely is the elf. Standing in front of you at 6 foot tall, 120 pounds, is a hag. An elven woman shifted by hundreds of years of torment in the Shadowfell, of imprisonment in the Shadowfell, twisted into a hag. As she says the name Aina, you see the thorns on the crown snap down into the skulls of the Triarchs.
Oh shit.
Piercing into the skulls. For a second, they wobble as blood starts to run down their faces. Those in the front row start to scream. Aina turns around as the men stand and wobble, trying to walk, the men and women, as the Triarchs try to walk towards Aina. You see the guards start to rush up. Aina goes,
Who am I? I am the turning of the tide.
and she raises her hand. As she raises her hand up, you see the 3 Triarchs who are bleeding profusely from their head, their right hands raised simultaneously. She shifts over to the rushing guards. Henry, you watch and notice as 4 disintegrate beams launch from Aina. 1 from Aina and 3 from each of the Triarchs. And you watch as 4 onrushing guards burst into dust. She then shifts. You watch as her 4, basically as she puppeteers these 3 Triarchs over. She hits 4 more guards. Then she starts firing randomly into the crowd.
Dang.
You guys watch as around you and above you, bird folk are turned to ash. As it starts to rain around you, guards start to burst through the doors as the screaming finally alerts them. Aina, the self-proclaimed Aina, turns to you. Telepathically, all of you, without her saying a word, you hear the words, run. And that is where we're going to end
what the fuck?
tonight's session.
Son of a gun.
I was wondering when this bitch was gonna show up.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
I knew those crowns were fucking cursed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have three. You have 3 crowns. Why? Why do we have 3?
Interesting.
They immediately take them. Why do they? Why? Why do they take them? They have spikes. Why do they have spikes?
Why is there 3 spikes?
Oh,
Heck,
copper,
huh?
highly malleable metal.
If you think about it from the Triarch's perspective, they're these greedy bastards, right? These greedy royals that are
goblins.
gifts. They're elected royals that are used to being taking advantage of these elves over and over and over again. So they're used to just being greedy and not thinking about snatching things. And Aina knows that, right? So why would she not take hold of that leverage?
Makes sense.
If we have to fight and kill her, I'm gonna harvest her body for potion parts.
So the last thing she said was,
run.
To you and said, run, all of you. So
And
that's
by that, she meant run directly to the library.
we are going to that's where we're going to end, so we're going to wrap up and then we'll continue talking off camera. But I love you guys. Thanks for coming and playing with me. Thanks for coming and watching if you watch. This was great. Really good session. See you guys next week. Bye.
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 Fine.